Hey, everybody. It's been a while. We said we were going to do this every Wednesday and Sunday or something, didn't we, Tom?
You said that. I never said that.
Fair enough. Yeah, we didn't. We haven't held to that in the beginning part of the season, but
Yeah, so anytime we promise you anything, don't believe it. Sure, I'll send you a koozie for being a valued listener. Actually, I think you're pretty good on that, aren't you?
yeah, I'm pretty good about sending folks koozies, especially if they try to order them and then it messes up.
Here you go.
What do we got?
What do I got? I don't know.
Voters seem to vote off what have I seen recently rather than body of work. I assume this means AP voters. Yeah, that's a lot of it. I mean, perception is everything, right? It's what do things look like right now. I can agree with that. That's why the poll system is so weird. It's politics, it's clout,
Well,
style points.
one of the things that I've always, not always, but something that I've grown to, this is one of my main stances. Preseason polls are one of the dumbest things mankind has ever come up with. It's great for content for people like us, for the sports media. It gives you something to talk about, something new in a part of the year where you're not getting anything new. And so in that sense, yeah, they're great, and the greatest thing that mankind has ever come up with. But when you're actually talking about, once you get into the season, you've got those preconceived notions, and it's we said this already, so I guess we have to just go based on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think early season polls especially are there's a reason why the media runs the polls is because the polls are content generators, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, here's a poll. And then everybody talks about, oh, they should be higher, they should be lower, whatever. I mean, it's like instant content. And there's hundreds of angles instantly that you can make off of it.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're looking at matchups for TV, it's you got, this is a top 10 game, this is a top 25 game kind of thing. Speaking of polls, and you alerted me to this earlier this week. I'm putting it in the chat now for those of you who haven't had the chance to read this garbage. But it's our good friend. It's our good friend Barry Trammell at the Oklahoman.
Oh boy.
He put out his top 10, and he kind of agrees with us throughout his things. Is that the preseason polls are kind of bogus, and you have to take what you see week in and week out, and start from scratch going into that. So. Without further ado, here is the Barry Trammell top 10 list.
Let's hear it.
Number 10, Kansas State. So Oklahoma State has a chance to get a top 10 win this weekend. In the BTP, Barry Trammell poll.
I like that.
Number 9, Southern Cal. And some of the blurbs that come with these, they are fantastic in themselves. Hard to get ranked in the top 10 this early with a loss to a non-heavyweight, but we can forgive SC's loss at BYU considering they have 3 solid home wins: Fresno State, Stanford, and Utah. Sure. Number 8, Iowa. The Hawkeyes' victory at Iowa State appears to be one of the better victories this season. Number 7, Florida. You guys have seen Florida. You watched that Miami game. Not even going any further into that.
Yeah.
Number 6, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a bad team. Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Yeah, they are as in Those are some bad son of bitches.
Yeah, that's a team I do not want to come across. 5, Georgia. Georgia should be there. 4, Clemson. Clemson should be there. Number 3, Cal Berkeley, the Golden Bears, who are 23rd in the AP poll. They come in 3 in the BTP. Number 2, LSU. LSU's probably got an argument to be top 5, maybe top 2. I guess depends on who you talk to. And yes,
I will say Cal is ranked 15th in the AP poll.
Well, what I'm reading here is 23rd in this article. Which I think that probably goes to speak largely about this article.
23, 15. It's not 3.
Yeah, exactly. Number 1, Auburn. Auburn is the number 1 team in the BTP. The first sentence when you're for the number 1 team, Auburn, who's 4-0. Heck, the Tigers already have a home win over Tulane, which is proving to be a solid mid-major. That's what I want out of my number 1 team in the country.
Okay, so here's the fatal flaw with old Barry's poll here. So he goes on before he starts listing his top 10. He says preseason, early season polls are garbage. Base it off of what people do, not what expectations are. And then he goes to base these good wins off of the early season polls. Like, come on, man.
You
can't do that.
If you're gonna have a position, at least stick with it.
Yeah.
At least halfway through the article.
Well, they've got wins against 3 ranked teams. It ranked in this poll that I just trashed for a paragraph. Come on.
Yeah, polls are funny. Polls are weird. It's always fun to see where certain teams are ranked by certain members of the media based on who they cover.
Yeah.
Like the OU guys dropping Texas 3 or 4 spots from everyone else, or the Texas guys doing the same to OU. Oh, number 3 Cal is playing right now. Huh. Interesting.
Yes, number 3 Cal is actually playing. I saw a thing from Reddit, and it was like it would be pretty Pac-12 after dark, hashtag Pac-12 after dark, if Arizona State just came and obliterated number 15 Cal, ruining any chances of a playoff team.
You know what? Let's just get this out of the way. Week, what is this, 4, 5? Let's just.
Hey, we've got a subscriber here, Dagadoga. Thanks for the subscription.
It's just one of those things that, like, before the season start, I went pretty hard on the Pac-12 being a garbage conference, and they are doing everything to make me as right as possible, and I appreciate that. Because it's not very often, like, I say something and it actually happens here. But apparently it's 0-0 in the first quarter. Who knew?
Well, he was like, it would be pretty Pac-12 after dark for Arizona State, unranked Arizona State, to come to Cal and just obliterate the number 15 team. But it might be even more hashtag Pac-12 after dark for Cal to actually win the game.
Did you happen to catch any of, like, there is going to be no more true Pac-12 after dark game than that UCLA game, Washington State game from last week?
Yeah, no, that was wild.
There were.
I gave up on that a long time ago, or a long time before all the craziness happened.
I mean, like, I turned it on, and it was like the 24-point lead or whatever. And I mean, it was on in the background, and I kind of fell asleep. And the next morning, I woke up. I was like, oh, I wonder how bad Washington State won that game. And holy hell, to my surprise, UCLA comes out and wins that son of a bitch.
Updoc says Washington State UCLA was the best Big 12 game he's ever seen. he or she has ever seen.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, like, I didn't see a lot of, I didn't go searching for a lot of like national press on that, but I'm sure they were like, oh, instant classic, great game kind of thing. But
Oh yeah,
Oklahoma and Texas Tech does this, and it's, oh, no defense, Big 12 sucks.
oh yeah. Well, that's how the NFL is too. You know, NFL game is close, both teams in the 40s, and it's the greatest NFL game that has ever been played.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma and Texas Tech do that, and it's like, look at these trash defenses. Good lord. Young ballin' drinking with Blinkin. Yes, I mean if you're drinking, then you are actually drinking with Blinkin. Because I have I don't know what you would call this, maybe a quadruple, a quintuple bourbon here. So I'm in for the long haul. I can't be getting up and getting down. So
I'm working on, that those Texas Live mugs we have.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I got that. I got that filled with some sort of box wine.
hell yeah.
So
So Dagadoga brings up a good point. He subscribed with Twitch Prime. So anybody out there with Amazon Prime, you have a free subscription to use, and it would be great if you used it on Blinkin Riley Presents.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
doesn't cost you anything. You get it just for being a Prime customer. Oh man, yeah. What game other than Oklahoma are you looking forward to tomorrow, Tom?
Uh,
What do you think
Nebraska,
would be a good game?
Nebraska, Ohio State sticks out. I think Ohio State's going to run over them. But that's one of those measuring stick games for Nebraska. Like, Nebraska hasn't looked all that great over the first couple of weeks of the season, but this was, the season that they're supposed to be turning things around. Today they just announced $1 billion facility, which will hopefully prevent them from going 4-8 ever again.
Well, I mean, that could be a fun game to watch for sure because I think both Ohio State and Nebraska are near the top of the country in big plays, like 10 plus, 20 plus, 30 plus yards, near the top. So it could be a fun game, or like you said, it could be Ohio State steamrolls them because, like, I don't know that Ohio State hasn't really played much. Like most big powers haven't played many people.
Nobody has played anybody.
But if anybody looks like the full package so far, it's Ohio State. They look really, really good. We've got Los Pillows TV. Are there any accommodations you'd like when you visit for the Hertz Heisman ceremony? Yeah, if you could have a bottle or two of Buffalo Trace, that'll be, perfect. Cam Shamrock, thanks for the follow. KSU OSU might be a decent game. I think that will be a decent game. I think that'll be pretty good.
What's the line on that?
I don't know. I haven't seen. But you know what's going to be, I think, is going to be an even better game. Baylor, Iowa State. The analytics have those two literally at a push. I mean, that might be a very entertaining game, and maybe have impact on the Big 12 championship game, race.
Oklahoma State is favored by 4.
Is that in Stillwater?
Yes, it's at Stillwater.
Yeah, that could be an entertaining game, I think.
Even in their loss to Texas, Oklahoma State, for having a freshman quarterback, there was a lot of good things to take. I wasn't high on Oklahoma State coming into the season, but the way they've looked in the first couple of games, and even in a loss to Texas, you saw a lot of good things. I mean, they've got the leading rusher in the country, leading receiver. So Oklahoma State, I think, is going to be a very good team, and I think they win that game.
Yeah, I think so too. Oklahoma State is a good team. I think I tweeted the night of that OSU Texas game. Oklahoma State definitely could have and probably should have won that game. That was weird to watch as an Oklahoma fan. Like, you don't really want either team to win, but you're like sitting there almost sympathizing with Oklahoma State. Like, good grief, Gundy! Like,
are you talking about that fake field goal attempt thing?
He calls games like, I don't know, like a wilted flower. It's just, I don't know. That game was frustrating to watch.
Do you know
I can't imagine watching it as a Cowboy fan.
Do you know how I know Texas is back?
How do you know?
They got that spot on that fourth down, or on that
no
on that
joke.
on that play at the sideline. That's
No
how you know
joke.
Texas is back.
Absolutely. Keep Austin weird. Keep Austin, short of the first down marker.
Iowa State by 3 in that other game.
So that's gone back and forth. Iowa State, I think it was originally the favorite. I think Baylor was the favorite at some point earlier in the week, and now I guess Iowa State has come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be an entertaining game, and I think game with implications. I think in the Big 12 at least.
I think you were higher on Iowa State than I was, or no, you were higher on Baylor than I was. You're a Matt Rule guy.
Well, I mean, he went from 1 win to 7 wins to, I mean, what's he gonna do now?
Yeah.
I mean, going from 1 or 2 wins to 7 is nothing to turn your head at, and I think he's doing great things. It's not the Baylor you're used to. They're not gonna throw it 50 times a game and air it out and have stud track players at wide receiver. It's a different ball club. They're gonna run the ball but they're good.
Frost sticks it out in Nebraska. They'll be solid the next 3 years. Well, I hope by the time that the game of the century rolls around, or the anniversary of the game of the century, and they're here in Norman.
Yeah, that'll be good. Kind of the meeting of the young guns, right? Riley and Frost.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be cool. There are lots of storylines there, like
Well,
you said, anniversary of the game of the century, renewing an old rivalry that, a lot of people, I mean, now, even our age, Tom, don't even know really how big a rivalry Oklahoma-Nebraska was. It was as big or bigger than OU Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in conference. It was fighting for the title every single year for, maybe 40, 50 years?
You always played that late in the season, and there was, oftentimes national championship, Orange Bowl implications.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is something that you it's an aspect that you don't see a lot when you're playing a team in October like Oklahoma does with Texas. It's something new that we saw last year, with the new Big 12 title game. I guess it's not new, but the revamped Big 12 title game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be such a fun game. I'm looking forward to that. Grew up with my dad and grandpa making sure that OU Nebraska was one game they never missed back in VHS tape recording days.
Oh, wow.
Had to get the tracking right?
Yeah. You still got those tapes somewhere?
God, that would be sweet. One time, It was Nebraska at Oklahoma. We didn't go to the game, and I remember I walked from the apartment to 7-Eleven, and I was like, kickoff is maybe, 15 minutes away. I got time to go to the store and back. So I went and grabbed some beer, grabbed a pizza burger. And I'm coming back, and I'm walking.
Those are back, by the way.
I'm walking back to the apartment, and I'm hearing the roughneck guns, and I'm like, there's no way Oklahoma scored already. Sure enough, Oklahoma scored. That was a beatdown that year. That was a wild game. But yes, the pizza burger was legit.
It's also back.
Is it
it's
really?
It's back. Yeah.
7-Elevens here are weird.
I saw it, and I'm like, oh my god. I was actually on the way to Ty's house, and I almost bought all of them.
Oh man. If you're not privy to the pizza burger, ladies and gentlemen, it is a burger, like a hamburger bun, with a pizza sausage patty, a big old slice of pepperoni, mozzarella cheese, and a good amount of pizza sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Get it for $1. Microwave that bad boy. Ready to watch Arkansas get the snot beat out of them again. That Arkansas, Texas A&M, right?
Yep.
Is that in College Station, or is that in Fayetteville?
It's at Arkansas. Oh no! It's not. It's in Arlington.
What?
It's at AT. Yeah, it's at AT&T Stadium.
What the hell are those two teams doing playing in Arlington?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it.
Is it a conference game? Is this one of those weird things like the other day or a couple weeks ago with Wake Forest and North Carolina or whatever it was?
No, this is a true conference game. One that actually counts in the standings. It might be some Southwest Classic, because I think they've done that over the last couple of years. I could be making that up. No, it turns out I'm not, with a quick Google search. I searched Southwest Classic, and here's some things on StubHub.
Oh my gosh.
There's also looks like a used car dealership in Arlington.
There's a used car dealership in Austin? Arlington? Really?
Southwest Classics Incorporated. It's closed right now. It opens at 9 tomorrow.
In case you needed a 2005 Hyundai Elantra.
Well,
with only 95,000 miles on it.
Well, you got to give this place a chance. It's got 4.4 stars. Service was great. They had everything I needed in stock. I will be returning for more parts. Apparently, they deal in parts as well.
Of course they do. It's a chop shop.
I have bought a lot of quality parts for my 72 Cheyenne. I needed some wiper blades for a 48 Chevy today. Who the hell needs they didn't have wiper blades on a 48 Chevy, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so DK Ray says that it's in Arlington every year.
Oh, really?
It's like OU Texas, but not OU Texas.
Okay. Let's pump the brakes on that. So James Owens says, I work here. It's an amazing shop. Thanks for the 5-star thing here.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, Craig Sweden is not happy. Proof that any idiot can start a business.
That's funny.
Karen Mendez only gives 4 stars, but the comment is, I like old vehicles. Don't we all?
Okay, so Dagadoga put out, it may be something with Jerry Jones. He went to Arkansas. And DK Ray confirms it does have to do with Jerry Jones. That is the reason.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes sense. Like,
Learn something every day.
that makes sense. He just, got to fill that stadium with things. So why not an Arkansas game?
Yeah. Garrett WBZ, how do you get your stats so quick?
Magician never gives out his secrets.
When I'm at home, I have scraped most public stat sources and have my own actual database that I manage. When I'm elsewhere, I am pretty good with Excel. I'll just leave it at that, I guess.
Ouch.
Yeah. What does ouch mean? Are you watching something else? Are you watching a Cardinals game, Tom?
Yeah, this game got way out of hand. It was 1-1 when this inning started. It is now 7-1 Chicago.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how, but Andrew Miller threw a wild pitch to the backstop that almost ended up in the dugout. It was wild. That's probably why it was called a wild pitch, but... You know what? I'm just going to take solace in the fact that the Rockies are hopefully still beating the Brewers and we can clinch this thing tomorrow. Let's check out that Pac-12 After Dark game.
Hell yeah. I've got it on, Tom. It's 7-7.
Is that Penn State Maryland game still a murder?
Oh, I don't know. I came back from a high school football game, so...
It was 38-0 at halftime. Penn State
I was watching the number 1 in Texas 5A, Lone Star Rangers, playing at homecoming. It was a murder. We left at halftime. It was 42-3.
Oh, looky here. We got an actual question about football that people would like us to answer. Over, under, 24 points allowed by Oklahoma's defense tomorrow.
The betting side of me would say that the spread is 27, which puts Oklahoma at scoring 51. I don't know if Oklahoma will score 51. Maybe. It's probably close. I would go under, though, with the quarterback situation in Texas Tech. And even beforehand, they weren't super great. So,
that is getting your money out of a face mask.
Less about Oklahoma's or defense and more about Texas Tech's offense. I think under 24.
Well, I was talking with some people today, and yeah, this isn't the Texas Tech offensive juggernaut that we've come to know. They don't have Alan Bowman, who, quite frankly, had he stayed in that game last year, Oklahoma may have lost that football game last year.
Absolutely.
And, granted, they kind of spotted him 14 points. But this is a Texas Tech team that scored 14 in their last game. So, you're I think as an OU fan, you're looking for any sort of improvement week to week, not just necessarily this game, but from week to week. And I was looking at some stats today. They're encouraging. They're giving up more yards on the ground than they were last year through 3 games. But overall, they're allowing, I think it was about 50 yards less total.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that grabbed me the most as I was doing this was the third down conversion rate for the defense. Oklahoma's number 7 in the country. Granted, early, small sample size, but still, that's a
true.
Vast improvement over what they were doing last year.
Oh yeah, they were bad in small and large sample sizes last year. So, yeah, no, that's a great thing. How much playing time does Jaden Davis get, and who am I fighting if he doesn't play? I imagine.
Well, you're not fighting DK Ray because he's with you. he's got your back when it comes to this.
I mean, ball hawking, like making plays, that's what Grinch is about. Presumably, if what we understand Grinch's mindset is, if you're going to do those things, you're going to play more. So I would assume he gets plenty of playing time.
Texas Tech. What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think if anybody, and this is, Jaden Davis is the guy that sticks out. Like, if you make the plays, you're going to get the playing time, and I think that goes for anybody on the defense.
Yeah.
If somebody comes in at safety and makes a play, they're immediately getting more playing time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're in the position to be like, sitting people for redshirt reasons because Davis is a freshman or whatever. Like,
not on that side of the ball. Like,
no,
you don't
on
have
defense,
you don't have the depth to do that.
Yeah, the proverbial beggars can't be choosers, right?
No, if you got a guy that can go out there and tackle somebody, break up a pass, make that interception, you put his ass out on the field. Red shirts be damned. Red shirts be damned.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How much closer are you to thinking Hurts is no longer starting if his lack of deep ball / happy feet doesn't improve? Through 3 games, Jalen Hurts has been better than the previous 2 quarterbacks statistically that have come through Norman. And those 2 won Heisman's and were first-round draft picks.
Hold on,
so
we're done looking at reviews for Southwest Classics Incorporated, right? So I can close this tab.
Yes, you can close that tab.
All right, cool.
So I don't think that Jalen Hurts is in danger of losing his starting position. I think he will be just fine, and he's thrown the deep ball. He's just never had to yet. The play that sticks out to me is the play with CeeDee Lamb when there was literally no one within 20 yards of him. And they have the screenshot of him on an empty football field, basically. Like, to stop, see that, and make that deep throw, that takes skill and really all the skill that's required. I mean, if he can make that, I trust him going forward with whatever. Because, I mean, that was an impressive play. It was impressive just because of the throw. But add on top of it, he had scrambled out of the pocket, saw that happening, saw the guy open, and then made the throw. Didn't panic. Didn't overthrow him. No. There is no chance that Jalen Hurts is in trouble. I mean, unless something very, very drastic happens in the next couple of games. There's no chance Jalen Hurts is losing the starting job.
I mean, throw that out there. Maybe he that's just some more fuel to the fire for him. He's a very serious and intense guy, and that might be something that it's a different sort of leadership than Kyler or Baker were. And like yes. He comes from Alabama. He comes from national champions, so he knows like what needs to be done, and he's seen Oklahoma not finish the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And so when he's given this, good as good is good, but when better could be best, it's not best if best is better or something. Whatever that quote was he had a couple of weeks ago.
Well, if bragging about his stats is rat poison, asking if he's going to lose his starting job is like rat food. What do we got? Parnell Motley.
Oh, hell, I can't find this.
Nobody's listening. To hell with it.
The hell with it.
Oh, man. Yeah, Motley is weird. Motley's a weird player. I feel like Motley's going to be a polarizing player when everything's said and done. He's going to be polarizing like Zach Sanchez was. Some people loved him because of the plays that he made. Some people hated him because of the times he got burned. It's going to be a weird legacy for Parnell Motley, I think. Weird legacy. What do we got? So, okay.
Before you get into anything, do some dancing, a little intermission, so I can go freshen up my drink.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So, about the defense, I really like how just kind of free, aggressive, like they're letting the players be players. You've got this Adonis in Kenneth Murray walking around the field. Looks like he's sculpted from marble. Mean attitude. Just wants to tackle the hell out of you. And it seems like it took until now to kind of unleash the dude. I mean, it's a little silly. But regardless of the past, it's pretty awesome to see now. I love how everyone's playing with speed. Everyone's playing downhill. Everyone's playing, point their nose to the ball. It's great. I love it. And, maybe they're not the greatest at it, but at least they're doing it. It's refreshing. It's not like, let's sit back in the secondary and tackle them after 7 yards. I mean, it's really nice to see. It really is. Only 4 defensive players that I think are solid in my opinion. Gallimore, Murray, Redmond, Perkins. Ronnie Perkins is the hero that we deserve. Ronnie Perkins is a grown-ass man, and he is going to make a lot of money someday playing football, chasing people. Jalen Redmond, I hear, is very, very good. We haven't seen much of him, but also I hear he's a grown-ass man. Like I said, Kenneth Murray, Adonis, sculpted from marble. Neville Gallimore. I love Neville Gallimore. The biggin. Sometimes people forget that, interior defensive linemen, rushing the passer is only, part of their job. Most of the time, their job is to take up as many linemen as they can, clog up the middle as much as they can. It's a more, it's hard to say 2 300+ pounders clashing together as subtle, but it's a subtle game in the interior line.
Is this coming from a former high school interior lineman?
No, I was a defensive end, but I appreciated what they did.
They were your brothers in arms on that line.
Mm-hmm.
So you had bigger guys than you on your team?
Heavier guys, yeah. There weren't many 6'4" guys.
More stout, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I was 6'4", 240. They were 5'11", 300.
All right.
The biggins on the interior. I can still remember my high school coach, Coach Stanton. You know, run play, double teamed. As soon as you were double teamed, you grab jerseys and you sit and spin. Sit and spin. You just grab, make a pile. Because they're trying to get you out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to move you from where you are. If you can grab both of them and sit down where you are, that blows up the play. Dr. Jack Lamore says starting a petition that tells DBS to quit throwing up the lockdown gestures after an overthrow. Can the chat kind of translate that for me? I'm not entirely sure what that means.
DBS is probably defensive backs.
Maybe. I'm confused by the capital S, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Lockdown gestures. Gestures. I think he means gestures.
Not like
as in like locked it down. Like no bueno. Incomplete. Like they have gestured that they have done something. Not gestured. Not like pointy hat with jingle bells on the end, like dancing for a king.
Making sure the king. No.
Gotcha.
Well. Hold on. There's something going on here. If they're doing that for the king,
DB's gestures. Okay, we're
on
pace.
We have a king. We do have a king. Yeah, there's something there. There's something there. But no, when it comes down to any of that, just go out there.
I hate that shit.
No, go out and do your job. Like if it's an overthrow, you didn't do anything. The ones that irritate me and piss me off the most is the get up, throw out the incomplete, and then they look down and there's a penalty flag at their feet.
Yeah.
Like, well, you probably shouldn't have tackled that guy before the ball got there.
Photojournalists make their career off of like snaps of guys like doing the incomplete, and they have no idea that the flag has already been thrown. You know, just like looking into the stands. Like that's the picture that every sideline photographer loves.
Yeah.
DK Ray, we understand what he said, dang it.
Yeah, you were just being rude there.
Listen, I'm halfway through my quintuple bourbon. So,
you should probably apologize here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
So, if Oklahoma wins tomorrow, it is their 900th win.
It is. That is a true fact.
900's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
All right, so you are just going after everyone right now. I see how it is.
Oh my gosh. 900 is impressive, but it's also inevitable, I think. I mean, it was going to happen. Right?
Sure. I'm trying to do some fact checking here, but Notre Dame might also be sitting on 899. And Nebraska might be right at 900.
Yeah, that sounds right. What's Texas, like 910?
911.
911.
Never forget.
They won't. Probably the last win they get this season.
I mean, if they're Patriots. So there was a Twitter thread earlier. They were talking about Georgia Tech and the option football they used to run. Somebody tweets out, "Can you imagine defensive coordinators if Oklahoma just ran this look for 3 to 4 plays a game? Not fair." And Andy Staples, the college football writer for The Athletic, said they'd quit.
I love Andy Staples. He gave a shout out to Tara Humaris.
Yeah, that and Aussies. Oklahoma Norman was apparently the 16th best food destination in college football.
Yep. That's pretty great. I like the shout out for Tara Humaris because I am a huge Tara Humaris fan. Big time.
Like The Athletic, like the things that they spend their time doing, like you start the article with some of them, it's like, man, what is this? And you're like, wow, that was fantastic. Jason Kersey did one on the squirrel at the Mont.
Yeah.
Apparently, that makes up 25% of their sales. Just that drink. The next closest thing is queso at 5%.
Wow.
That's insane to me.
That is wild. Wow. A quarter of their sales, revenue is the swirl.
Yes.
I have to admit, I've drank several.
Did you read that article?
No, I didn't get to that one.
Well, before tomorrow's game, just sit down, give yourself 10, 15 minutes.
Peruse.
I expect a report on it the next time we do this. Anyone see the Citadel blasting Georgia Tech after giving a shout out to Georgia State? Yes.
Yep.
They told Georgia Tech on Twitter, it's like, don't worry, we're just passing through.
Oh no.
Does anybody here with eligibility know how to kick field goals? And what's something in 20 miles of Norman calls police on OU's only plays kicker? Well, I know one of your brothers says he can make one from 35 yards.
Yeah. My middle brother thinks that he can make a 35-yard field goal. So.
Younger, dumber brother.
Younger, dumber brother.
At this point, just go for 2, I guess. Yeah. We don't know what the punishment is going to be for this. If he's going to be out there, but what the hell? Just go for 2. As far as field goals, go for it.
Just like old Woody Hayes It's like, oh, you were up, 52 to, I don't know, nothing. Why'd you go for 2? Well, because they wouldn't let me go for 3. Just put it on them. No one needs a kicker.
Because my 19-year-old kicker had a drink.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about field goals. Just go for it.
Yep.
I mean, Oklahoma, you got the defense, right? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. The defense. The defense. Oh, man.
So through 3 games, Jalen Hurts is the leading rusher for Oklahoma. Do you think that's going to continue? Do you think that's going to be a problem for Oklahoma if they don't get their other backs in the mix?
I don't think it's going to be a problem. Most of Hurts's runs have been designed. I think if the line can block for Hurts, the line can block for Sermon or Brooks or Stevenson or whoever makes their way into the lineup.
Blinkin Riley.
Yep. Hell, I could get 3 yards of carry with that line.
You know what that does?
That gets you a touchdown every time.
the wise words of Papa Riley.
Yep. Yep. So I put on Twitter, is 900 wins that impressive? I'm not sure it is. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not sure it is. 900 wins are going to happen for everyone. It's not how many wins you have. It's when you get them. And it's...
So do you have like a wins plus statistic that you've created right now?
Well, I can tell you that in the last 20 years, Oklahoma's gained 45 games on 35 games on Texas. In 1999, they were 45 games up. Now they're 11. So
this is total wins, correct?
yeah, total wins. Actually, if you go back to, I don't know, last 50 years or so, it's a pretty steep incline. Hell yeah, DK Ray. Subscribe with Prime.
Gonna be pissed if 900 doesn't happen tomorrow. Same. SI was not impressed. Is there any way I can I like a comment on this?
I don't think so.
I will verbally like that.
You can cheer, I think. I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know.
But thanks for the subscription, DK Ray. Wonderful. Like I said, anybody else with Amazon Prime, you get free subscription on Twitch to give to whomever you would like.
Ooh.
I would like it to be me.
Hold on. West Virginia has the 14th most wins of all time.
Listen, they've been playing weird-ass football in those hills for a long, long time.
You were trying not to say podunk.
No. People call my hometown Podunk. I don't like that.
I think the same people
I was
called
trying.
my hometown podunk.
I was trying not to say hillbilly.
Okay, so you know how we rag on Texas A&M fans all the time?
Yeah.
And they deserve it? Yeah. West Virginia's got more wins than they do.
Oh, no.
Texas A&M is 17th in wins. West Virginia's 14th.
West Virginia has won more football games than Texas A&M.
According to this list I'm looking at, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Tulsa has more than Oklahoma State. I was just picking random teams that I saw.
Well, no, that's a cool thing. Like, you know, hell, that's half of what I do is, you know, cull through these like lists and rankings and things like that, and like pick out things that seem odd to me. Like,
okay,
like,
you know, we've had
like Tulsa having more wins than Oklahoma State.
So we've had we did the Blue Bloods argument a million times in the off season.
Yep.
There are some people that want to include new school teams like Clemson and maybe a Miami. Miami has 624 wins. That is one spot ahead of Tulsa at 623 wins.
Well, it's funny, you know, you bring that up. It's almost like all-time wins aren't super impressive, or at least super descriptive. Because
God,
Miami has...
I get it. You don't like this 900th win.
I do like it. It's cool. It'll be a big deal. I'm going to tweet about it. I've got some cool like things with the number 900. Like, it'll be fun.
Give us something.
No.
We're here. We're subscribed with Twitch Prime.
Are you though?
I mean,
Some
I
of you
could.
are. Some of
Okay.
you are.
All right, then just like DM those people. Then they're the only ones that get it.
Yep. I'll DM. Slide into your DMs. Just offhand, I can count 1, 2, 3 SEC team, 4 SEC teams that have fewer wins than Utah. Oh man, the SEC. Speaking of the SEC, did you see their bullcrap with the SEC football legends and like 4 of the 14 people they inducted?
They've done this ever since other schools have joined their league.
Yes. So I went back and looked, and I didn't like confirm every single one, but it's probably close to a quarter of the people in their SEC football legends never played a down in the SEC.
When I saw you tweet that the other day, I think I saw a coach in there, and I'm like, well, of course the coach would never play it down, and that's probably his technicality that he's looking at here.
Nope, he wasn't one of them.
Was Jeremy Maclin in that?
Yes, Jeremy Maclin was in that. No, the coach wasn't one that I was talking about.
There's a couple guys. Maclin was in the Big 12, right?
Maclin was in the Big 12. Ed Simonini, I don't know how you say that. Southwest Conference. Dennis Winston, Southwest Conference. Fred Ziegler, South Carolina, ACC. Yeah, that was... I don't know. That's just the most SEC thing in the history of the SEC. Like, since 1933, that is the most SEC thing. It just means more, Paul.
Well, and it's
things
funny.
things like that that make it seem like it means very little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
weird. The Big 12, they look at themselves as a brand new conference. It's not it didn't grow from the Big 8. It is a completely separate thing.
Yes.
And so their histories are separate, as it should be, because it was essentially more or less, I guess, a merger of what was left of, the Southwest Conference.
Yeah. Southwest Conference, and what was left of the Southwest Conference merging with the Big 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can compare the two.
No.
I certainly don't think you can compare that guy who played for South Carolina in the ACC in 1950 or whatever.
Yeah. But he's an SEC legend.
Oh man, Texas A&M belongs there. Things like that.
They found their people.
Exactly. There might not be a more SEC team than Texas A&M.
Ooh, here's a good question. Here's a good question.
Too bad for the conference that they're always going to suck. But anyway, I hear we have a good question.
We have a good question. Better win UCLA over the Cougars or Jayhawks over Boston College?
One more time.
So UCLA over the Cougars
mm-hmm.
of Washington State, or Kansas Jayhawks over Boston College. What was the better win? Presumably for UCLA or Kansas. I want to say Kansas. That's my initial gut reaction. UCLA should be. UCLA that's a conference game. They should be better than Washington State, I would assume. Historically, I guess. especially resources wise. But Kansas, I think that game was in Boston. I'm going to double check. But I think that is by far the better win.
I think I'm going to.
That game was in Boston.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on this. I think the UCLA win over. Wait, how was the question worded?
It just says better win.
Bigger win or better win?
Better win. Presumably for the school who won.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's a good question.
That is like, and when you put those two games against each other, that is something.
Yeah.
I think for what UCLA has put on the field this season, and for them to come back from what they did, it was like a 31, 32 point deficit. And for it to be a conference game. So, at this point, UCLA is like leading the conference because of that win with a win over Washington State. I think that's a bigger win.
Yeah, I can see that. My thing is, like, Kansas going on the road out of conference against a team
was that
a
their
team
first
that should
Power
be pretty
5
good.
thing?
Yeah, that was like in like 10 years or whatever. I don't know, something absolutely bonkers. But I think going out of conference, not just, out of conference kind of implies that it's out of your like geographical region, right? Mm-hmm. Like Oklahoma can go to Stillwater, and it's a different environment, but it's still only like 50 miles away, right? Mm-hmm. Kansas is going to Boston. That's a different culture, a different region. It's you're basically aliens going into there.
I also think
being Kansas, going into there and winning, I think that's huge. I think it's a huge win. Not just winning, double them up. 48-24. Kick the shit out.
I think Washington State is a better team than Boston College was.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I don't know, what the separation between Kansas and UCLA was, kind of thing. They were both really bad teams. They're both probably still really bad teams. But I think a win over both of them were on the road, as someone pointed out here.
Yes.
Updock.
He was Updock, he or she was the original, question. So
I feel like you did that earlier, and he said he.
I just always assume that who I'm talking to, if I can't put a picture to them, are the same as me, and so I say he, and so apologies.
Just trying to avoid that thing. Either way, both teams were on the road. I think Washington State is a much better team, a tougher opponent. And I think Kansas and UCLA were in very similar, situations, where they were at with their team, both offensively and defensively. So I think I'm going to lean towards that was a better win, UCLA.
All right. Yeah, no, I see your point.
This is one of those questions where there might not be a wrong answer.
Well,
what you said is like, yeah, I can feel that. I understand that. And then what I said, you're like, yeah, that seems all right.
Yeah. No, I could see either way. It's a very, very good question.
All right, chat. Who wins the Pac-12?
Ooh, yeah.
You tell us who wins the Pac-12.
Who wins the Pac-12?
Do you have transcripts of this? Can you go back and see these after the fact?
We can.
All right. If you get whoever wins the Pac-12 right, Blinkin's going to send you a koozie.
Yes. Yes, I will. Because Tom just held me to that.
And you're a man of your word. You're a man of Tom's word.
Yes, I'm a man of Tom's word.
How are the Bears doing? It's 7-7 right now. There's 2:50 left in the first half.
Yep. Dagodoga says Oregon.
We've got an Oregon. Oh, we got a USC. That I didn't see coming.
That's not a bad pick, though. Because USC, has one loss? 2 losses?
Yeah,
one loss.
One. We can forgive them for losing to BYU because of their very strong home wins, according to the BTP.
Yeah, I mean USC leads the South Division, so
I think it actually might be Hawaii.
Tom,
how did that guy get out of there? Oh,
Tom.
That's how he got out of there. Didn't Hawaii go in there and beat 3 Pac-12 teams?
Yeah, probably, because Hawaii's pretty good.
They're also probably ineligible for that Pac-12 title.
Yeah, given that they're not in the Pac-12. So,
yet.
All right, guys. Everybody in this chat, give me right now, for a koozie, who you think the Pac-12 winner will be. I will be right back.
No, Blinkin's leaving me the reins here. You're about to get some more Southwest Classics Incorporated reviews. Honestly, don't even know. Can't even make a guess. We've got a Washington, Utah. Seems like everyone's just going to pick somebody else. I think it was last year where there was a chance of a 6-way tie in the Pac-12 South. So all of these, another USC. I have gone on the record, rolls eyes. You can draw it out of a hat, to be honest, with this conference. Because one week some team will look amazing, they'll look great. This is a playoff team, and then the next week they're going to get rolled by some very lesser opponent. Number 15 Cal is in trouble, and I think that's the Pac-12 frontrunner as of this point. I was between Oregon and everyone going 6-6, and they just draw a name out of it. That's probably what they should do. Someone's interested in Cal. Someone's buying into what the Bears are doing. WAC 12 conference. I like that. I'm going to steal that, and I will use that everywhere. Thank you, Vector78, for that very important piece of content. What the hell are you doing? Glug, 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 glug. Okay, we're having one of those patented blinking quintuples here.
All right, I'm back.
We could hear.
Oh, did you hear the glug?
Yeah, that was one of those patented quintuples, huh?
Yeah.
Cal gets rolled by Oregon next week. I think we've had people pick everyone in the Pac-12.
So yeah, Oregon, USC, Utah,
except for the state of Arizona. Like they're just kind of garbage.
Like, don't be afraid to pick people. Also, don't be afraid to pick the same person, because I will send a koozie to everyone who wins. So, just pick.
Probably anybody who participates.
Yeah, bro. So we've got a Cal.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've hit everybody except for those. I haven't seen a Stanford. Ooh, Buffs. There we go.
Ooh, the underdog. Ooh.
How was that? Yeah, what's up?
That was good. That was Buffalo Trace. I just opened up my bottle.
A new bottle?
Yeah. Yeah, that
hey,
was...
did you see the other day that the natural light hard seltzers are the official seltzers of the Big 12?
I did see that. Yes.
I can vouch for one of them, the Catalina Lime Mixers. Those are fantastic. I hope to get my hands on some Aloha Beaches sometime this weekend.
There are seltzers called the Catalina wine mixers.
Lime Mixers.
Lime mixers.
Yes, it's Natural
Light.
Light.
That's
It's
so awesome.
It's one of Natural Lights.
That's so awesome.
Natty for the natty. Like, if I only have to drink Natural Light to get Oklahoma a national title, that's what I'll do. But while we're not holding on to that, I'm going to go get another drink, talk to these people.
Oh, man. Cal quarterback going to the locker room? I guess I missed it. ACC is the worst conference in college football this year. Kodak Blackwatch, I 100% agree. That is a trash conference. Even some of the people that, had high expectations, or at least semi-high expectations. I mean, Boston College has good players. Lost to Kansas. Virginia Tech has been more than disappointing. Miami, I mean, it's Clemson and, just like a bunch of other people. That is a sad, sad conference. What do we got here? Let's go back. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, chat, who do you think wins the Big 12? Oklahoma? If you want to say Oklahoma, who's the team that will win the Big 12 that's not Oklahoma? If you had to pick one, is Landry Jones kicking himself for ditching the Steelers right before Ben's injury? No, he is not. He gets to play for Stoops in a brand new league. He is one of the most well-known, probably, quarterbacks.
He's the face of the league.
Yeah, at this point.
I think he's the only one signed to the league, actually, right now.
He's the only quarterback signed to the league and or team. No, they're going to pay that dude. He is just fine. So I asked the chat, if not Oklahoma, who would win the Big 12?
If not Oklahoma, who wins the Big 12? Ooh, I don't know. Texas, probably, maybe.
How?
I don't know, they win more games than the other conference members.
No, I mean, let's talk through how this plays out.
Let's break down everyone's schedule.
No, not that.
I think. Okay.
So,
okay.
if Texas wins, Texas beats us twice, right?
Sure. Well, no, not necessarily.
Beats us at least the last time.
Yeah. I think Texas is going to out talent everyone in the Big 12.
Okay.
And I think one of the main competitors, Oklahoma State, they've already beat.
That's
one
true.
Of the teams that could be in that discussion, they've already got the head-to-head on them.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I don't really like what I've seen from Iowa State this year. I think they're a very good. I think they're a good team, and I think Matt Campbell is a good coach. I just don't know that they have it this year.
I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see when they start playing people.
I mean, we're not going to talk about West Virginia and Kansas, probably. Like, we're not even going to put them into the discussion for this.
No.
You know, I don't know what to make of Kansas State so far. I think tomorrow's going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson has like really good numbers, like statistically, but I don't know what that's gonna happen. What's gonna happen to that when conference play comes knocking? But I mean, they went down there and they beat Mississippi State, which
I don't think
team,
we're really considering Texas Tech, are we, for this?
No, offense just isn't there. I don't think.
But
we've got a couple of Iowa States, and I'm high on Iowa State. I like the coach, I like the quarterback, I like the defense.
I still think there's time in that Iowa State game from 2 years ago.
Yeah, no joke.
That was one of those games that, as I watched, like, there's still 15 minutes left in this game. There's still 10 minutes left in this game. Oh, we still got one more drive. You never thought Oklahoma was going to lose that.
No,
and then until it was
final, there was no point in that game where I thought we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, because you kind of get into that panic. You're like, oh shit! Like things are not normal. Oklahoma's not leading. Like, what is going on here? And then and in that game, you're like, everything's fine. It's Iowa State. We're at home. This is the perfect storm. Like, Baker's going to come back. But no, if you ask me, there's still 2 minutes left on that clock. Oklahoma's got the ball and they're driving.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That was a weird game to watch. It was almost like it was in slow motion. And like you said, it never actually ended.
So we've had this conversation about who's going to finish last in the conference. I think we've had that more than who's going to finish first in the conference. I was a hard Kansas. You are a hard not Kansas. We've got a Tech maybe last in the conference.
Tech may be. We're going to have to go review the tape on who the actual order that we had. But that was a hard no Kansas. Kansas is not the seller this year.
I was a very hard it's going to be Kansas.
Yes.
I was very hard on that.
By the way, thanks for the follow, Woods Low Key and Jay Baker. Thanks for the follow. Top to bottom, 3 weeks in, is Big 12 best conference. Top to bottom. Oof.
It's not the Pac-12. So
we can not the Pac-12.
We can eliminate that.
I would say it is top 3. I mean,
not the hard. ACC.
I don't think. Yes, it is.
Well, you can say no. I mean, we got to break this down somehow. It's not the Pac-12, and it's not the ACC, which is the most top-heavy. Like, it's one team, and then it's a bunch of like other teams that just happen to play each other because they're close.
But still, top to bottom, I would put the Mountain West above ACC.
Okay,
I'd put the Mountain West above Pac-12, probably, or at least comparable.
Okay, so we're looking at group of 5 teams too here, huh? Or conferences.
Just said best conference. Hey. I took that as FBS. So.
Oh no, I'm looking at Division 2 real quick because I'm pretty sure there's something there.
Woods Loki, thank you. I love everybody who likes my tweets and stats and everything. Like, it's turned into a crazy thing, and I love everyone who follows me and likes my stuff and retweets my stuff. Like, it's flattering. It's amazing. Thank you all.
Well, number 1, Valdosta State takes on Shorter at 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Tom, could you stop with the Division 2 stuff? Valdosta. Valdosta.
That's where Pittsburgh State is, apparently.
Pitt State? In
Yeah.
Kansas?
Yeah.
What are they, the kangaroos or something?
No, that's UMKC. These are the Gorillas.
Oh, okay. That's better.
Uh, okay, no, I get where you're coming from. With the Mountain West is better than the ACC, as a conference as a whole, or the Pac-12.
Yeah. Like top to bottom. The question was top to bottom. I would put Big 12 in the top three. I would put somewhere, I think top to bottom, probably Big 10, then Big 12. SEC is top heavy.
Tell that to Vanderbilt.
They trash.
You will drive to Vanderbilt to tell that to their president.
Oh my gosh. Tennessee is more trash than Vanderbilt. How about that?
Oh.
Not even the best SEC school in the state.
Dim's fighting words. Okay, how about this? This is according to the weekly release from the Big 12 Conference. The Big 12 concluded non-conference play and continues to lead the nation in non-conference winning percentage at 800, 24-6. Big 12 is second in win percentage among autonomy leagues against each other with a 600, 6-4. So clearly they're the best, right?
Well, I mean, if you have, okay, so, kind of like a statistics 101. If you have a winning percentage to the 1,000 or 10,000ths or thousandths place, and it's a 0, it's probably a small sample size, and you probably shouldn't. You should probably ignore it. That being said, Big 12 has done their duty. They've gone out of conference. They've won their games.
The Big 12 is the only league in which all teams are 500 or better, and 90% have winning record.
90%. Oh my God.
Thank you, Kansas. Is it Kansas?
There are 10 teams. 90%. Just say 9 of 10. Don't say 90%. Like there's thousands of teams in the Big 12.
They also spelled out 90% in that. I don't know if that's AP. I don't know if that's AP style or not, but
AP actually went back on that. It used to be spell out percent. AP actually went back and said, okay, you can use the modus percent sign thing.
My style guide's from 2014. I should probably update that.
Yeah, probably.
Per Stats LLC, the Big 12 has the toughest strength of schedule among all conferences based on combined winning percentage, .716 of SBS opponents.
Well, check this out. The Mountain West, after the first week, Mountain West teams had beaten a team from every Power 5 conference except the Big 12. Now, a Big 12 team didn't play the Mountain West, but after week 1, the Mountain West had beaten an ACC team, a Big 10 team, a SEC team, a Pac-12 team.
Yeah, we're not about to fuck around with the Mountain West. We've done that, and that bites us in the ass.
Yeah. Oh man. Did you have to do that? Did you have to allude to that?
It's the elephant in the room, really.
Yeah, probably. What do we got in the chat?
Carolina may play Clemson close tomorrow. They won't win. Tennessee is worse than Kansas. Law.
Yes, they are. I will second that. If Tennessee and Kansas played right now on a neutral field, Kansas would win. 100%. As the kids say, Hundo P.
The and it's probably coach talk, but Tennessee's coach seems to think that they're 100% better than they were at this time last year.
Lol, what? That's insane. That's crazy talk. That's like, I'm trying to save my job talk. Yeah, that's wild.
Michigan's going to drop 4 to 5 games this year. I'm surprised they haven't dropped 4 to 5 games already through 3.
Yeah. No joke.
You think this is the year that Harbaugh is finally out?
I think if he loses to Ohio State big, yes. I think they make a move. And you know who they make a move to? I think I said this preseason.
Is this your Les Miles thing?
Ooh, it's Les Miles.
Michigan man?
If Kansas can get up to 4 or 5 wins, Les Miles is going to Michigan.
Everybody made that kind of thing when he was at LSU, but LSU was a good job.
Right. At the time, LSU was a better job probably than Michigan. Les Miles just happened to be a Michigan man.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's at the bottom of the barrel. Michigan is in need of somebody. I'm telling you, that's what's happening.
Ohio State will inevitably drop a game against a terrible team. Here's hoping.
We talked about, Dagodoga, we talked about this preseason. One of my concerns with Ohio State was not the talent they have, not Ryan Day's mind for calling plays and scoring points and all that. It was in those close games where the players aren't really cutting it. Can the coach call the right plays and maneuver the clock and do those things that win close games like Urban Meyer's a master at? I don't know. And so that's going to happen at some point during this season. Can Ryan Day get through those games? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, because it will happen. It will happen. Urban Meyer's headed to USC. What do you think about that, Tom?
It's the very popular rumor, and I feel like those early popular rumors never actually translate. For what I've seen, he seems happy. As happy as Urban Meyer can be, I guess. Doing that studio job with Fox.
Yeah.
And I guess in the last couple of weeks he's hinted at missing football and all that kind of thing. But I think he actually stays away from that USC job. That USC job is tough, and they're in a very weird. The college itself, they're in a very weird point because their athletic director just stepped down. The guy who said, "Hey, yes, Clay Helton, you can stay another year and coach this team," he's gone. So there's going to be significant changes at USC. And as much as I think they'd like to bring Urban Meyer in, I don't think that ends up happening.
Yeah. I think at this point, with the way TV is and, the markets and everything, I think USC is a very, very hard job.
It's one of the best jobs in the country. Don't get us wrong. Hey, Audra.
Everyone say hi to my wife, Audra.
Hi, everyone.
Go Rangers.
Hi, Tom.
What's up?
She was mad that, I smelled like whiskey. So
Don't even.
I guess I'm gonna not buy you
No.
that whiskey
Oh, yeah.
whiskey cologne this year.
Love you, Tom.
Love you too.
I'm going to bed.
Night.
Don't stay up too late. I have to go to party.
Oh, you have already stayed up way too late, dog.
nevers.
Hey, I gotta be at work at 8 tomorrow, so.
Like in the morning?
Yep.
What the hell?
How else is Oklahoma City gonna get their pregame show from their local affiliate if I'm not there?
I don't know. They just go to a tailgate instead?
Well, they're not watching TV regardless, so yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, for those of you in the Oklahoma City market, if you're looking for the best pregame show on the television, and if somehow you still have Fox 25 with all these cable disputes and coverage issues, if you still got it, tune in at 9:30, and we've got your local pregame show. That was my commercial. That was my spiel. Please watch us.
Yep. Watch them.
And then stick around and actually watch the football game. I don't need to tell you that.
If you want to.
If you are so
Nah.
if you are so inclined.
Oh, man. All right. I think it's getting late. I think we should wrap this up. Tom, do you have any final thoughts here?
Conference play starts tomorrow for Oklahoma. I think this is the first time that we're going to actually be able to see, what this new defense is made of. I don't think the turnovers are going to be a big thing, but to keep an eye on the yardage that they give out, in the passing game especially. That's where they need to see the most improvement, I think. So yeah, I think Oklahoma wins this. I think the defense plays better than they did last year, the year before, and the year before that. The best they've played in years. I'm going to go Oklahoma 45, Texas Tech 28.
Ooh. So you're going over on the 24.
What I'm hoping in that is that it's a second half, second string kind of thing.
You're also going Texas Tech to cover.
I suppose I am, yes.
So, final thoughts. I would say...
Yeah, I'm worried if I can't watch Game on Dish tomorrow. That's a very, very real fear.
Yeah. Yeah, for people who still have cable, cut the cord, man. Anyway, final thoughts. I would say Texas Tech is a weird game. They always play us close. But I would say look for Jalen Hurts to keep doing what he's doing. Designed runs, making the passes when he needs
cover,
to.
shaking my head.
Oklahoma is going to cover the 27. I'm going to say 52-23. So there we go.
Hey, when do you want to recap this? You want to recap this Sunday sometime?
Yeah, let's do Sunday night. If anyone wants to join.
We say this.
That'd be
We're
great.
never gonna do it. Never gonna do it.
Yes, we will. Hell, I'll do it by myself if I have to.
All right, guys. We'll see you Sunday night. Hopefully, maybe.
Maybe.
Boomer Sooner.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it.
Probably not.
Nah. But anyway, we'll see you guys later. And Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner. See y'all later.